Good morning, everyone. Hello. I am so excited that you're here for my podcast. You guys, I'm going to actually call this podcast episode 1 because I brought my podcast back. Well, I know I have other podcasts out there. I know that, but I'm going to feel like this is a new season. We're going to call this episode 1, podcast 1. All right. So my name is Robbie Page. You are here on my podcast so that we could spend some time together, you guys. I am in a new season of my life, and I want to bring all of that to you guys, whether it's being an empty nester, a Gen Xer. I am 53 years old, mom of grown children, marriage that we look at each other, we're like, what do we do now? A grandbaby with the second one on the way. I live in a total blue world. I've made millions and I've lost millions. I've had bankruptcy and foreclosures, and I've lived the high life. Like, I've got all the stories that I can share with you guys. And so this series of podcasts means something different to me. So I want to welcome you guys here. We're going to talk about Gen X. We're going to talk about the life of a Gen Xer. Now, it doesn't mean that if you're not a Gen Xer, you don't belong, because of course you do. Of course you belong. So I'm just excited that you guys are here. I'm excited that we're going to spend some time together. Let me kind of give you a little heads up of how my podcasts roll. It's a party. It's like we're sitting at a table together, having a cup of coffee. I'm recording this podcast for you guys. It's 10 a.m. on a Thursday morning. But you know what? Maybe we'll do a podcast at 8 p.m. with a glass of wine, because sister here loves her some Cabernet. And I can tell you that if I could just have a glass of wine, I'm going to have a glass of wine. I had a glass of wine last night. So maybe we should have a podcast about wine. But nonetheless, here we are. And so today I have my coffee in my cup. It's not wine. It's too early. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, but it's not here in Texas. And so I have my glass of wine. But today I'm going to talk to you guys about being 50. But before we do that, I want to send you into some what to do right now. Are you ready? You want to be sure that you text me hashtag in all caps podcast to that number right there on the screen, so that if I do a random podcast with a glass of wine, because I feel like talking to you guys, then you know when to hop on. Okay. You'll know all the deets right there, when things are going to be live. Like, for instance, before we started recording, we spent some time before with all the ladies. Shout out to all the ladies that are on live right now. And so you just never know what I'm up to. You never know who I'm going to have on here. But would you please give my podcast a thumbs up right here on my YouTube channel? And then, of course, you want to hit that subscribe button so that you always know when Robbie is coming to you with some wisdom. All right? All right. So today, y'all, this podcast is completely revolved around women. That is who we are. And that is what we are going to talk about as we walk through this podcast today. And so let's get started with what I want to talk about: being 50, being fierce, and being fabulous. Okay, I'm 53. I already said that. I just turned 53 just a few short weeks ago. I have to tell you that I feel more alive today than I did in my 30s and 40s. Okay, we're gonna talk a lot about that as we go through this series. However, today I want to talk to you about being 50, being fierce, and being fabulous. Basically, how do we own being 50s like an absolute boss? How do we do that? I've got 5 things that I want to talk to you guys about today. But here's what I want you to do. I thought about this morning. Okay, so I want all of you to go back to being young. Maybe you were a little girl. Maybe you were 20. And I want you to think for a second a 50-year-old that you knew. Maybe you remember your mom at 50, your aunt at 50. Think about that for just a minute. Okay, I want you to think about what that looked like compared to what you look like today. Y'all, we're living in different times. Y'all know that, right? Like, our 50-year-old family back in the day, or maybe, it was Sophia Loren. Maybe that's who you're thinking about. Maybe it's you Jackie O, maybe that's who you're thinking about. But if it was your mom and your aunt, the normal peeps like us, it's a different 50 today, you guys. And I want to share a little bit more of how we can be different, how we can be fabulous in our 50s. We live in a different world. We have access to different research. We have access to different things. As a matter of fact, as I was sitting here preparing for this podcast today, I was thinking we should talk about cellulite. Why do women have cellulite and men don't have cellulite? Maybe we should talk about that. But okay, we're not talking about that today. But let me say this to you guys. I'm here to remind you, ladies, that we're just getting started. Okay, we're just getting started with no judgment, with no holding on to the past, with no grip of who we thought we should have been in our 30s. But we're just getting started because y'all, 50 is the new 30. Did y'all know that? 50 is the new 30. Because listen to me. We're older, we're wiser, we got some wisdom. Sure, we have some experience that maybe we don't want to talk about, but we have some wisdom. And you know what? We're a lot more settled. Our unsettling at this age seems to be more of things like, who am I supposed to be in this season? Where does God need me today? Where can I lead? Where can I love? Where can I demonstrate prosperity and abundance today? That's more of our unsettling. We've probably come to grips with our family and maybe things we did wrong with our kids. And, we're starting to see grandbabies come on the scene. And, we have made all the mistakes in our marriage. Like we done did it. But you know what, you guys, we're literally just getting started. And let me say this to you. We got some swagger up on us and up in our business. We literally got some swagger at this point in our age. And more importantly, I want you to own it, okay? I just posted on my Facebook about this season of my life. I just posted on my Facebook, her entire life led to the moment when she said, "This is the life that I want." She never again wasted time on anything that wasn't that. Y'all, that's what it looks like to be in our 50s. And I even said on my Facebook, if y'all want me to do a podcast on that, I'll do that. And most importantly, let me tell you where I find myself in my 50s is I don't have time for BS. I don't have time for BS, y'all. Like if it smells like a skunk, it's a skunk. If it walks like a duck, it's a duck. That's kind of where I'm at this point in my age. Can I get an amen, y'all? Okay. So I've established that. Let's talk about some tips that I have for you guys today. I hope maybe you're taking notes. Tip number 1, forget what society has told us. As I was doing my Peloton journey this morning, it was an 80s movie walk. And if you follow me on Insta story, you went on a journey with me this morning, but it was so fun. My grandbaby, y'all, I have to tell you this side note, pause. His new saying is so fun. And he says, "Grandma's house is so fun." It's just so cute when he says that. So, but y'all, the walk this morning was so fun because it was 80s movies. And it took me back as I knew that I was going to do this podcast today. And I started thinking of who I was in the 80s. And then I started thinking of who the world tells us that we should be in our 50s. And my quiet time, I read about our verbal seeds about ourselves. Like how many people literally think I'm getting old. My body's hurting. I can't. Like all the things. Oh, just wait until you turn 50. Oh, just wait until you turn 50. Oh, just wait. Oh, your hormones. Oh, your hair. Oh, your wrinkles. What if we collectively as humanity said, don't tell me what I'm going to experience in my 50s. You don't know. Not you. I don't have your life. I don't have your mindset. I don't have your way of thinking. Let me tell you what it's going to be like in my 50s. And I added to my journal this morning, maybe I'll share that with you guys next time, of I am thriving in my 50s. My health is getting more and more vibrant in my 50s. My eyes are stronger in my 50s. My aging of my skin is more beautiful than it's ever been. I am aging beautifully. Like I literally added all that to my quiet time this morning in my journal. But let me say this to you guys. What if we literally redefine what society tells us about our 50s? It is not time to land the plane. It is not time to settle. It is not time to raise our kids and be empty nesters and sit on the couch and literally give up. No, it's not. Did you guys know? Y'all know Viola Davis? Y'all know who she is? She's an actress. So she won her first Oscar at 51. She became the first Black actress to win the triple crown of acting, which is the Oscar, the Emmy, and the Tony at 51, y'all. And then let's just do a shout out to my girl J Lo for her Super Bowl performance when she was 50. A lot of people judged her, but I didn't. I literally looked at her and thought, number one, that outfit, get it, girl. Number two, that dancing, get it, girl. Like most people just can't even get out and go for a walk. And you're doing that at 50? So what if we just redefined what society told us? Okay, tip number two. Tip number two, strength is sexy, my girls. Strength is sexy. We all know the facts that we lose muscle every year that we get older. Okay, so here's the deal. Nothing screams more boss lady and confidence and sexy in your 50s than a fit woman who takes care of her body. Nothing. Zero. Why? Because we stand differently. We walk in a room differently. We get dressed differently. And I'm not talking about 1 pound weights, you guys. I'm sitting here before you sore today because I did a boot camp the other day with my 15 and 20 pound weights. Because you know what? I want to be sexy for myself, for my husband. I want to feel good about myself. Not only do I move my body, but I want to feel really, really good about myself. Now, do you guys know who Angela Bassett is? You guys probably know who that. Let me tell you, she's in her mid 60s, but at 50, she decided that she was going to start lifting weights because she decided that we should all age like fine wine. And you guys, here's the deal. Lifting weights is not just for the weak. It's not for those that want to be muscle heads. It's for all of us. Okay? Okay. Tip number 3, keep it fun and spicy, my friends. Keep it fun and spicy. I'm going to do another podcast about girls just want to have fun. What does that look like? Age is literally just a number. It's how we live that matters the most. It's how we carry ourselves that matter the most. Did you know that Oprah did not launch her own OWN network until she was 55? You guys, it's not time to just roll over. It's time to be spicy. It's time to be fun. It's time to say, what should I do in this age? Y'all, let me tell you, we don't have kids at home anymore. And if you're watching this podcast and you're not in Gen X and you're not empty nesters, cool, it's coming. We don't have kids at home anymore. We don't have to put kids to bed. We don't have to get kids up. We don't have to make lunches. We don't have to do carpool. We don't have to go pick kids up at 3:30. We get to think for ourselves. We get to do for ourselves. You guys, what does fun and spicy look like for you? I shared on my Insta story the other day, or my Instagram, that Brian sent me a text that said, can I take you to dinner tonight, with the blue heart? Y'all, I literally started crying. That was such a turn on for me. I thought, that's foreplay. That's spicy. Why wouldn't we be spicy? We can go back to tip number 2, maybe because we're not moving our body and we're not lifting weights and we're not feeling good about ourselves and we're not doing things that make us feel strong, which make us feel sexy. Sexy is not a size and sexy is not a weight. Sexy is a mindset. So in the next podcast 2, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, my special guest and myself, we're going to talk about fun, spicy things in your 50s. Keep it spicy. What does that look like for you? I can tell you guys, one of the things that I've started doing, because I'm finally physically at a place where I feel more proud of myself than I have in like 10 years. I've lost weight. I've lost tons of inches. I don't even like to say weight because my scale is so weird. I've lost a ton of inches. I feel so strong in what I'm doing. My body's responding. I have mirror time with myself. I just feel so good about myself. My supplements are off the charts. My sleep is through the roof. I'm having a great time. And I've started doing my workouts in just my workout bottoms and my sports bra. And so it may come midsection or it may be just a sports bra, but it's just me in my Peloton gym. And it makes me feel good. So what does that look like for you? All right, let's go to number 4. Number 4, I want you to own your confidence in your 50s. It goes back to what I just posted on my Facebook. Confidence, my friends, is our superpower. Did you know that? It's our superpower. Listen, by this point in our life, we've learned to take up some space. We've learned how to speak our minds and how to shut our mouths. We've learned to stop apologizing for who we are. We've learned that this is me. What's that song? Whoa, this is me from The Greatest Showman. We've learned all of that, you guys. At 50, we're not afraid to take chances because you know what? We've taken so many. Confidence is your superpower. What can you be so confident about today? Is it your personality? Is it how you love? Is it how you serve? Is it how you give? What is that you can own in your 50s and be confident, and that becomes your superpower? You guys, Sandra Bullock shares that she didn't hit her stride until her 50s. She said, there's no shame in growing older. There's only great opportunities. Did you hear that? Sandra Bullock didn't feel like she found her strides until her 50s. And she said, there's no shame in growing older. There's only great opportunities. And I've had people tell me over and over and over and over that we will make more money in our 50s. We will become more successful in our 50s than any other decade that we've ever lived. Did you guys know that? Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting? I wonder why that is. Perhaps because we're owning our superpower of confidence. Perhaps because we've owned our mistakes and we know what not to do again. Perhaps because we feel sexy again and we feel strong again. I don't know. But apparently it's a proof. All right, final tip, number 5. Let's laugh, let's love, and let's let go. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Let's laugh, let's love, and let's let go. Because listen to me, you guys. If we don't laugh at ourselves, who's going to laugh at ourselves? I could write a book on my past, and I laugh at how much of my past I brought upon myself, how much of my past I look at people and I'm like, shut up and sit down. Try to walk a day in my shoes. I can look at my past and think, oh dear God almighty. I posted yesterday on my Facebook, nobody's more embarrassed at their Facebook post in 2010 than me. Like, I can laugh at what I've done. I can laugh at the mistakes that I've made because you know what? It's only up from here. And then I can love, y'all. What if we loved unconditionally? What if we just loved people regardless? I have learned how I love, how Robbie loves, and that's how I'm going to love because that's just me. And I'm not going to apologize for myself. I don't care if you reply to my text or not. I'm going to send you some love. I don't care if you love me back. I'm going to send you some love because it makes me feel empowered. It makes me feel amazing. And then let go. Listen to me, you guys. If there's any time in the world to let go, it's now. Forgive yourself, forgive your husband, forgive your kids, forgive your boss, forgive your past, forgive everyone. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Right? That was Elsa. Let it go. Can we put things down in our 50s that we've carried for way too long? Let's laugh, let's love, let's let it go, let's take control, let's have fun, and let's be unapologetically ourselves. Who's in it with me? That's what I want to know. Let me know in the comments if you're in it with me to win it in our 50s. Because here's what I know. No one's going to come to save us. No one's going to come rescue us. No one's going to come do what it is that we feel confident, called, and appointed to do in this time. No one. We actually have to save ourselves. We're not stuck, my friends. We're not a tree. We're not a tree. Your greatest days are ahead of you. God has put you on this planet and you're listening to me. You're still breathing for a reason. You have so much potential inside of you. You have everything that you need. You are a powerhouse. You have gifts and talents that I don't have. We don't have. You love like nobody else can. You serve like no one else can. It's time that we step into our 50s. And it's time, y'all, that we live a life to the greatest potential. All right? Thanks for joining me, you guys. Please be sure that you give this a thumbs up, that you subscribe to my channel, and text me. Don't forget to text me because listen, we're going to have some fun, girls, in our 50s. I'll see you on the next show.